So as predicted a few months ago, the new Rolex releases, the 126 reference, have now started to hit the market, and I'm here to do a video for you guys out there on the Oyster Flex range, in particular, the Pikachu. So the few things I want to discuss, not only the prices and where they are in the market, I want to discuss how they look side by side. I think it's going to be really good for you to see the differences, but also how different they function, in particular with the new glide lock clasp. So I've got both references here for you. I'm going to get them out of the cabinet and we'll delve a bit deeper. So as we all know, I am the ambassador for the Pikachu Daytona, one of my personal favorites, if not the personal favorite for me in the Rolex lineup. So I'm going to show you my model, the one that I wear. We've got one in the cabinet for you here. This is the discontinued 116518 LN. Here we go, so this is the one. So this actually is a 2018 model. Got discontinued, as you all know, in March this year, even though we've seen quite a few hit the market. We've had some as late as literally like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. The latest release is some of the last ever to be produced. So this is the one. I'll just take it off the cushion for you here, let you have a look. So this one here, as you can probably see, it's the stunning 18 karat yellow gold. The difference with this particular one to the new one is, which I actually do prefer in this particular model, is the dial. The dial for me is what makes this the original, the OG Pikachu. So as you can see when you look at the dial there, it's got the beautiful champagne color, it's got the indices there, it's got the luminous markers, and they've got a beautiful black outline. For me, that is what's quintessentially the Pikachu dial. It's also got the beautiful black sub-dials. It's got the 40mm case with a chronograph function. It's got the start-stop reset, if you want to use that for timing. But it's also got, and this is one of the biggest changes, this one here's got the actual double folding safety clasp, so you can see that there. So we open it with this side first, then we open it with that side. But as you can see on the other side of the watch there, it's what's called the Easy Link or the extension link. This will give you half a link extra. This is what all the Oyster Flex Daytonas had before they were discontinued. For me personally, obviously I do use it as my daily. Believe it or not, I didn't realize I've actually dailied mine for a full year. So you can tell there how much I absolutely love it. But for me, if I just need that extra little bit of release, all I will do is open the Easy Link here. So I'll go close it for you here. Here, that snap, that's closed. That's how it should be sized for you when you're buying from your dealer. And then if you're on holiday, you're a little bit warm, you're in the all-inclusive, you need that little bit extra, all you do is pop that open there, and then it looks like the letter H, and that's the Easy Link. So that's one of the things that has been changed, which I will show you in the new model. But for me, I think it's probably the best balanced watch that you can possibly buy. It's got the beautiful dial, which complements with the sub-dials, which complements with the bezel, which complements with the strap, and obviously the clasp. For me, I think it's probably the best balanced Oyster Flex Daytona in the range. So I'm going to pop that one there. For me, honestly, every time I see it, it literally does just make me smile. And this is the new reference. So to give you an idea, this has only been out for the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. This is the third one we've actually had in. The other two we've sold straight away. I had this in 2 or 3 days ago. So this is the one that has the new movement inside. It's got the 4131 caliber movement. The other one had the 4130 movement. It's got the beautiful bezel insert. Now, when I first saw photos of this watch, I wasn't convinced I was going to like it. Honestly, when I actually see it in the flesh, I genuinely do like it. I do think it is improvement. I think it looks a bit more, let's say, modern, or a little bit more classic, or a little bit more classy, in my opinion. But the one big thing you'll notice, the case size is the same, the dial size is the same, there's no difference there. What you will notice is the dial. So the dial on this particular one here, it has lost the black outlined indices markers, the luminous markers, and they've been made slightly longer. So the older ones were shorter and slightly fatter. These ones are longer and thinner. Again, there'll be clients out there watching this video that will prefer this one to the older one. Me personally, when it comes down to the dial, I do prefer mine. I think it is quintessentially the Pikachu dial, but I would not be obviously upset if I had to buy this and wear this particular one. The clients that we've sold them to have absolutely fallen in love. I'm sure you're watching. Well, that's one of the big changes for me. And there's a slight difference in colour as well, which I will show you side-by-side comparison. It's a slightly lighter coloured dial, so that's one thing you do know. But the biggest thing for me is the clasp. This is the biggest game changer. I wish Rolex had done it a long time ago. They've done it on the other Oyster Flex ranges, like the Sky Dweller range, like the Yachtmaster range. It's quite late to the party on the Daytona range, but for me personally, I think it's a massive improvement. It is a bigger clasp. I do think it's a bit more balanced, if you want my honest opinion. This one's quite smaller. I'll show them side by side here, so I'll give you an indication on the actual size difference. There we go. So hopefully you can see those side by side. and you can actually get a good indication on the size difference, so it's quite a lot bigger. But this is the real game changer for me. This is it. This is the absolute game changer, and it is the glide locks. When you open up exactly the same, but underside here, you'll notice when I actually open the bracelet, and you can see it slide up and down there. So it actually slides all the way up and down. So really, really easy for you to micro adjust it yourself at home. Winter, smaller, summer, make it bigger. Absolutely perfect. And I think it's such a great addition. Definitely an improvement. There's no right or wrong with these. So whichever one you choose, you've not chosen the lesser one. You will either choose the older one because of the dial, or you choose the new one for the different look. Side by side look there, you can really see the difference in the dial. You can see the difference with the indices. You can also see the difference. There's a slight colour. This one, the new one, is slightly lighter in colour, only a slight bit, but it is slightly. But like I said, the new bezel insert is a winner for me, if I'm honest with you, the new Clasp. But for me, it is the dial difference, and for me, quintessentially, this one I do prefer. So another thing I want to discuss on this particular model, which I'm sure a lot of the other YouTube channels maybe not mention, is the case back size. So the case back is a completely different shape, and I want to show you the differences. So this is my reference. This is the 116. So if you look at the case back here, you'll see that it's two steps. It's got the two polished edges as it goes round, and it sits quite a lot deeper. So the actual center bit there, if you can have a look there and just see that, or if you can pick it up on camera, it's quite a lot higher and it's quite a lot smaller. The new reference is a lot wider. So if you notice there, the actual satin bit, which is obviously finished by Rolex in a linear motion, is much wider, but it actually sits much lower. So it will sit differently on the wrist. So to give you an example, this one will sit slightly higher. You can see it's slightly deeper, but narrow at the top. And this one here is slightly wider, slightly more flatter. And again, for me personally, I do think that's a massive improvement. When I look at it aesthetically, I do prefer the look of it. And also I think functionality wise, I think it will function better because it'll fit slightly lower on your wrist. One thing that I have seen, because we've had the new Ghosting as well, unfortunately that's sold, so I can't do the comparison for that, but for me it looks a bit longer, a bit taller, and the reason is, so I've been trying to work why it is, it's because of the bezel insert. So when you compare them side by side, this one on your left actually looks a little bit wider, because obviously the bezel is slightly wider. So outside of the numerals that go around there, there's slightly more of the ceramic that sits outside. This has been replaced obviously by the gold insert there. So for me to actually look at them side by side, this looks a little bit taller and this looks a little bit wider. So I actually prefer the wide look, but although I do prefer the bezel insert. So I am kind of like conflicted. There's a lot of things I do like about this. There's a lot of things I do like about this one. And for me, you cannot go wrong whichever one you choose. Obviously, this is my own watch. I'm never ever going to sell it. It's part of my memory, my history, my journey, my YouTube journey. It's just part of me. I have so many memories. I will never ever sell it. But for me, these two here, you know, either one you choose, you know, you can't go wrong. Price-wise on these, we sold a brand new one of these, a 2023 one, just to let you know. You guys know, for £41,000. This is a pre-owned 2018, literally like brand new for one of my clients' collections. We're selling this around the 36 to 37K mark. This particular one here does carry a premium, as with all new Rolex Daytona models or Oysterlex models or new releases. This one's selling for a couple of £1,000 more. I'm going to say around about the 43, 44K mark. But for me, like I said, it doesn't matter which one you choose. They are both winners and both absolutely stunning watches.